it was very natural for me. Like, it's one of those things you say, like, you actually literally made to make. You see what I did there? I discovered it then, but then still I didn't think it was like the career I would venture into, because at that time, what is being an actor, you know?
Very true.
And especially if you're like a smart kid, there's usually the standard professions you should do, being a doctor, engineer, lawyer. I really desired to live a really good life.
At 19?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
My name's Shanawa Islands. I've always been a go-getter. Even when I was in high school, I was in all clubs. So I've always had this hunger inside me to do a lot. One of the things I really wish for in our industry is we get to a place where Nigeria got to very many years back. They support their own, even when they things that they're putting out are very questionable.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why Afro-cinema became very popular here, because once they speak about it loudly in their country, it's brought here as well.
Yeah.
But we don't do that.
We don't speak
So how are we
loudly.
supposed to push our content outside the borders of Kenya if we ourselves don't speak well of it?
Welcome to another episode of the Made to Make KE podcast. Francis. Unajua tuko na nani leo?
This is the rare occasion where we have a guest who we are both familiar with.
Yeah.
Although, of course, more with you. But, you know, we have had a fair share of work together with the lovely lady in our presence.
Nyinyi mnamuonanga kwa billboards. Maisha maji.
You know, small things.
Shoma.
Yeah. All of our screens, everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah.
So we have Foi Wambui with us. Leo tutafanya applause.
Lazima.
Oh, wow. Very nice. So welcome to our little podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to see people who are usually behind the camera being in front of the camera.
Wewe unaona siku hizi anafanya makeup.
Hey! Hadi lashes.
Come on.
Karibu upepe.
Ndio hizo.
Ukiblink sana, unatuacha.
Najua nilikuja huku na boda. So I was the entire time, I was like, hey.
Don't fly.
Don't fly away, please. Don't fly away, please.
Because it would have been worse if one flew away and then you're left with one. And it's like...
So got two asymmetrical. Unasema it's part of the art.
Yeah.
No, as a creative, you can just lie.
You
can just say it was intentional.
It's like people who wear two different kinds of socks. And they just say, this is my style.
It's the vibe.
Tunajua moja ilipotea. Just be, umenyamaza sana. Is this you?
It's not allowed.
Is this you? You're a creative. We'll allow it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So here, we just, talk to creatives, people who are made to make. Let me tell you, actually, which is very funny. How I got to learn about you is very odd. So one day, my sister was on her phone on Instagram, and she goes, wasn't that my previous, was it DH captain? And I go like, huh?
Hostel captain.
Sorry, hostel captain.
Yeah.
And that is how I discovered For
Really?
Wambui. Imagine. She was just going through it and she exclaimed, she's like, wasn't this a hostel captain? Now I don't know, I remember DH, but yeah. And I look, I was like, oh, hiya, this is an interesting person. And then because we had like mutual friends, that's how I started to know Foi Wambui.
That's so interesting.
Imagine.
I don't think I've ever met anyone who remembers me from that time, except like people in my year or like the year younger. You know, the people I used to know, basically. A lot of people don't remember that phase of my life.
Hawajui ulikuwa...
Nilikuwa captain.
I've
been a leader since 1997. Come on.
Come on. So now, like, you started with drama, right?
Wachi hapo.
Kwani miaka zako umeanza kuzijua? Kwani zako ni?
97.
Na yako ni?
Mimi wa 93.
Yo.
I know.
What?
I know.
Are you sure you want to say that?
We'll bleep it. We'll bleep it in post.
Yeah, sure, I should not have done
Where
that.
are your 3 children and...
on their backs.
Yo. Yo. Okay. Moving on.
Wewe, tuko na guest.
Okay, so
Behave.
I'm not shocked.
Like
I'm just pretending to be shocked.
Lakini ameshagundua.
Yeah.
93.
Imagine. Kwani when you are?
96.
Alan, what am I doing? Where is my age group?
They are out there with their children.
What?
And their grandchildren.
Because I've never actually thought about it. And of course, even our mutual friends are probably the same age as you guys.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I'm the old guy of the group.
Yeah, when you're Mbaba.
When you're Mbaba.
So now you know. Now you can start acting like it instead of acting like your shoe size.
Okay.
Okay. Sasa hakuna ningani? We'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So guessing, because you're an actor, right? Actress.
Actor.
Oh, very good. I'm guessing you started with drama, right?
Yes.
Ulifika wapi levels festival?
Drama festival, nilifika nationals, nikashinda best actress, best performing. Like, it's been in my bones. I just didn't know it until later on. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting.
So you discovered your love for acting through drama?
Yes, I did. From primary, I was in drama festivals as well. Then I went to high school, drama festivals as well. And then I just really loved it. It was very natural for me. Like, it's one of those things you say, like, you actually literally made to make. You see what I did there? Anyway, like, I discovered it then, but then still, I didn't think it was, like, the career I would venture into, because at that time, like, what is being an actor, you know?
Very true.
And especially if you're like a smart kid, there's usually the standard professions you should do, being a doctor, engineer, lawyer. So I didn't really consider it would be my full-time like career until later on, and I was like, wow. But now I'm so grateful because ningekuwa uko kwa courtroom as a lawyer.
So you wanted to go to law school?
Yeah, I did a semester of it until the school decided to strike for a whole year, and I started looking for work.
Was it the citadel of scholarly excellence you were in? It's okay.
Yeah.
Hizo tumefanya.
Yeah. I mean, when they what will strike like one whole year, and I was like, okay, I need to get a job. I mean, I was still acting at the time, like a theater plays and stuff, but for me it was more for fun. But when I started looking for like a proper job is when I went into like radio and then TV, and then like opened up this like can of worms of my life that is right now. Good kind of worms, like nice ones that people actually want to eat.
That's so cool. I feel like we all kind of have the same. I feel like a lot of creatives kind of have the same story, because even me, I was in med school.
Yeah. For how long?
Med school for 3 years.
Wow.
I was in med school for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Nilifika hapo ward huko Kenyatta Hospital, ndio nikaanza kujiuliza, nani must.
Yeah.
That hospital we should use that. Hey.
That's the year that a lot of people drop out, right?
Yeah.
Because you start seeing the reality.
You start seeing, now you become you start feeling the physicians, and then like residents are so mean.
Yeah.
They'll tell you the most outrageous thing at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just trying my best.
But I mean, I feel like it's also a good thing they tell you there and then before you finish, and then ushtukie once you're already practicing.
Yeah, so you kind of know how the ground is always going to be.
Was it the same as well for you?
Did you finish?
No, I also didn't finish.
What were you doing?
Journalism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be the next Larry. Bon, ole wangu.
But here you were in front of a mic, so...
Yeah, so maybe
full
I
circle
am doing
moment.
the same thing. By the way.
Yeah. You're finally.
Yeah.
Mama, I told you. I told you, Mom.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So you started with theater.
Yeah.
How did you get to screen acting?
So for me, my journey with screen acting was very difficult because I had done a lot of theater, and I used to go for auditions from Kitambo back then I used to try and go for auditions. I'd never get a call back or anything. And so I just continued. I just continued doing radio and TV as a presenter, but also still going for auditions. Nothing was happening for me until finally me and a group of people decided we're just going to make short films. So we started to make short films. One of them won an award. And I think that's when people started trusting me with screen roles. Because I remember one of the auditions that I went for, and I'll always be grateful to director Ruben Odanga because he's the only one who told me what my issue was. When you come out of high school as a theatre actor, you're very dramatic. Like the Theatre for National Festivals is like dramatic. And when you go to theatre, you might change it a bit, but not very significantly. But screen needs you to be very subtle. Like literally acting the way you're talking, but just, portraying those emotions.
So you were reading for like the back of the room when
Yes.
you're doing auditions and you're like, you're just supposed to be.
It's literally the camera is you don't have to do all that. And I remember I went for an audition for Selena, I believe, when they had like a call for people to be part of the cast. And I went, I did my thing. Ruben came and talked to me outside. I will never forget this. And I don't even think he knows the impact that he has in my life. But he came outside. He knew me from drama festivals because him and my drama festival director were friends. So he came and he was like, oh, you're very good. You're Foi Justin. I was like, yeah. And then he's like, okay, you're good, but you're acting for theatre. And that really gave me like a wow moment. And I was like, okay, so I really worked on that, making sure that I'm practicing to be more subtle with my actions, but still portraying the emotions necessary. So we just did a lot of short films. Eventually, people started giving me auditions. And here we are.
So people were calling you for auditions?
Yeah, so people calling me, and also now I'd get a bit more feedback. I think it's, people said trusting that, okay, we've seen her in this and this.
Yeah.
It's like a short film, but she was good in that. Ebu, there's this audition, Ebu, go and try out for it. There's this, come and try out for it. And even when I take myself, it's not like I'd actually get feedback. So I wasn't just being ignored as I was before.
Okay.
Yeah, and that opened this life that I live right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's really, really cool. There's a part there I did journalism. You were a newscaster?
Yes, I did.
On radio?
Yes, I did radio and TV. I did radio for 2 years, and I did TV for 2 years as well. Yeah.
You were on TV?
Yes.
Which one?
Am I allowed to say it here?
Yeah.
Oh, for radio, I was on a radio show called Empress Show. That was a syndicated radio show by Shujaz, and it aired on different, literally all the main stations.
Yeah.
And then I did TV, where I was a live TV host for a entertainment show called Switchboard on Switch TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, I remember that era for you. Yes, it's
And I
come
also
back to me.
I did a live a reality show with Patricia Kihoro for Honey TV, which was on DSTV. So it was about proposals, and we'd host the show. Yeah. So I did that for a couple of years. Yeah.
We've been working hard.
This portfolio is quite large.
How many pages when you write your portfolio?
I try to just be humble.
Super humble.
Just enough pages. Just enough.
So you can actually go to like a Showbox producer and if you want to do like a reality show, you have something
you
to
have
show.
A background in
Yeah.
it.
That
Yeah, I mean, I got my first job on radio when I was 19. So I think now with that timeline, you can see how it makes sense. Because 4 years on radio and TV, and then now, yeah.
But where does that come from? Like you at 19 years wanting to get a job?
For me, I think I really desired to live a really good life.
At 19?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
My name's Shanawa Islands. So, and I mean, we weren't actually poor, We were middle class-ish. But like I always knew I was destined for a lot. I've always been a go-getter. Even when I was in high school, I was in all clubs. I was, the head of a lot of clubs during my year. I was a commander of Rangers, treasurer of drama, part of the EMUN committee, marketing manager of GA. Like I was always very active. I'd MC in school and stuff like that. So I've always had this hunger inside me to do a lot. So that's when I finished that never died. In fact, I remember having a conversation with my mom and I was like, I don't care what job it is. I just want a job. Whether it's being a waiter, it's fine. I just look for any job for me. I just want to be active and do things. Luckily, the way God is God, he designed it that my first job would be on radio.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yo, Ayan, ulikuwa wapi 19?
Hey, me 19, I was going through a hangover because I went out the night before. Na niko na cut Monday. That's me at 19. But also for me, okay, maybe not as go-getter-ish, but I liked having like extra cash. So for when immediately I left high school, remember Akina Mpasho, Gafla, those like writing. I used to write blogs.
Yeah.
I used to write blogs. Whenever there used to be all those weird dramas of Akina Uda.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I used to
still
write
there?
them
Tafute.
And then they pay you.
Yeah. So they'll have like a list of articles that they need to do. And then
Oh, wow.
And then
they pay you how much?
They used to pay me at that 1,500 a blog. So I used to target to do 10 a month.
Oh, wow.
And that's like 15K.
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah, na ni msewa uni.
Yeah.
Ni pesa mob.
That's interesting. So ukiamka kutoka hangover unaandika blog post.
Naandika blog post, natuma. Balance. So back then I used to be very in the know about like gossip. Whose politician's mistress was bought for a Range Rover, because that time that was like that was how money was made.
The juice,
That's so interesting because I feel like the blogging and that kind of space has picked up in the last couple of years and changed and evolved so much. So for you to already have been doing that at that time, like that's very interesting.
Because I used to now write for them, and then now I had a moment where I was like, I'm gonna have my own. So every week I'd go write my silly little story.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've always been a storyteller.
Yeah.
But so I started with the writing. So
That's interesting.
So that's what I was up to 19. I'm not that far behind.
Where were you at 19 in 1970?
Movies.
Really?
Nilikuwa na kwa movie show.
Really? Zile za 50 bob.
Yeah. And now the thing with the inspiration for me was not the money. Was that I knew because I'm just a movie guy. So you are telling me I can work somewhere where I can watch movies every day.
Yeah, because you're waiting for somebody.
Like I'm watching movies.
Yeah. And a lot of the movie guys are the ones who used to, when you go, they recommend Indio unapenda gani. So of course you used to watch a lot. I'm sure you've watched more movies than any of us here.
For sure.
But not by far. And then that's when I realized I had a gift with women.
Okay, expound.
Because for some reason, like, because when the guy hired me, like he left me at the shop for like 2 days. So when he came back, anapata shop imejaa madem. And then unajua hizo time by nature, kaa busy inajaa madem. Now of course even the guys will come. So movie shop yake ikaanza kujaa. Kumbe, it's because like me, I'm someone who watches everything. So I've watched something like Pitch Perfect. So girls wakikam wako like recommend I am like you can watch Gossip Girl, sijui nini.
Oh wow.
So they used to flock up every time, and then unajua kupa na Netflix and nini your time because that's 2013.
Yeah.
So you're even the what's it called? You're almost the IMDb.
But like anyone I could be like, you like horror? I got you. You like
hapo ndio kukua ladies man ilianza.
I'm not ladies man, just good at working with women.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what we'll call it.
That's what we're calling it.
The political correct. The politically correct answer.
Yes. That's why I was doing it, Mom.
That's so interesting.
Hey, so huku kumbe ni
go getters.
Go getters.
Yeah.
Go getters.
Kumbe.
I'm so proud of you guys.
I'm proud of you guys too.
It's too early, guys, to come in at 19. Sasa tukianza kulia sahi.
Hakuna hata tissue.
Tumeenda sana.
Na wengine wetu hatujazoea makeup, so tuko
Now, Foi, let me ask you. So your experience in both theater and TV is both huge. Do you think because you're in theater, it made you better on TV, even if you were told not to do it like theater?
I would say yes, because there's something that happens in theater where you have to know all your lines. You can't wing it. You can't cram
there's nobody
page
behind
one.
there and you're like,
Yeah.
line.
Because I've
Yeah.
always wondered, like a play for 1 hour,
You have
how do you do it?
you have to cram everything, and you also have to be very attentive and on your toes, because someone could mess up, but you have to be able to like
Pick
figure
it
a
up.
way to pick it up
and to hide that little
and continue with the story to where it's supposed to go. So it really makes you sharp. It makes you very quick to catch your lines. It makes you very, like, it really sharpens you. I always say, like, at one point, I would like every screen actor who's never done theater to do theater. It's a wonderful experience. And the audience is there. So the adrenaline, it's a good thing and a bad thing, because you start off anxious and then you just become excited. And then you don't know what anyone will do. I remember we did a theater show a while back where the actor was so in the moment. Alitupa mtu like, it was a fight scene. Alitupa mtu like off the stage. Because of that adrenaline. I mean, that wasn't ideal because safety is important. But like, I'm just saying this to show you like how you have to really be in the moment, and the adrenaline really kicks in.
But explain to us, like maybe someone who has never been to theater, able to tell us like how now you get ready for the role, and how do you cram all those lines?
That's a very interesting question. I don't know if I can really explain how you can cram the lines, but I can sort of give you like a picture of how it goes. So basically you get the role. And for me, obviously this is from my experience. You get the role, you have rehearsals for sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months, depending on the production, sometimes 3 months, sometimes whatever period of time. So you get the lines, you just keep going through your script daily. And then when you go for rehearsals, there's rehearsals where you use the script. And then there's rehearsals where you're told we're doing act 1 and we're doing without the script. So you do without the script, and then you go into blocking the scenes of where everyone will be standing, what are the movements on stage, how are we feeling the scene like now practically. And then you just do that a bunch more times, and then towards the end you'll do a tech run with the lights, and on the stage you're going to actually perform, and then you put on the show. So it's literally you have to continuously be reading your script, continuously figuring out, okay, how am I going to do this? To be honest, cramming the lines is the easiest part for me. And I think for a lot of people, cramming once that muscle is built, it's easier for you to get the lines quicker.
Once you get used to it.
You're able to figure out little things that help you understand, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go after that. So from the storyline, from the storylining, okay, this is the path my character is going to. These are the changes that my character is going through. When he says this is the cue line, so I need to say this. And then you just open it up to being playful with it, because things change constantly on screen and also on theater. But theater, it's like you actually have to be on your toes, because someone would say something in Kiswahili today, tomorrow,
in English.
or throws in an extra word. So you have to like literally catch up consistently. But that's usually the more technical part. The cramming of lines, it's very, it's good.
Because I was also in drama, but...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in a drama club, but before me and the principal broke up in that school, the role I had gotten...
Sorry?
Yeah, me and the principal broke up.
Broke up? How?
Yeah, we had to separate. So I had to leave the school.
Oh!
Yeah, amicably.
Yo. I thought you were in a relationship with the friend. I was about to be like, how do you just say that casually?
I was, because now, you know that thing of where like maybe we are a squad and then you and I do something. But then the principal is new and is wondering, if Ian and Foi did it, then Frank must have done it. But there is no evidence. But since he doesn't want to take the risk, it's
He's
just like okay.
Yeah.
So
that's
basically what happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because now I was, what happened, I had stumbled into guys doing a play. And then, literally, nilikuwa tu nazurura, because, in Form 1 nazurura tu. So, unaingia unaona watu wakitoka there. And then there was this part where they needed extras to go on stage and die and then walk off stage like zombies. So they were like, anyone wants to nini? And I was like, well, I might as well. So I walked in.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was the only Form 1 in the entire group. I died, walked off, and then I was nicknamed Zombie because apparently I was a very good zombie. So that's my experience in drama.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
and then after that, you just let it
because now the next school I joined, they didn't have drama. They had now the music club, which I joined. So I never got to do it again.
Do you ever wish or wonder?
Oh, yes. It's something I would really have loved to do. So that's why I'm very curious, when you explain it, because I've always wondered, hey, ramming those lines, how do you do it? Because I feel like it's easier on TV because you're doing it scene by scene. But a play, you sit for a play for even 3 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
And there are things, because some of these complex plays, there's a play I went where Nini was there and some guy, I forget his name, but the way they were speaking, I was like, wow. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just it's a muscle that is built over time and you have to literally just start.
Yeah.
And I feel like for you it would be easy because you know how to work a camera. So you can do your own short film. My journey is because we did our own things and then something happened.
I always admire people who can be in front of the camera because now me, I've always been over there.
Yeah.
Because I'm even when I go for plays, I'm just like, what? How are you even? It feels overwhelming. Even as you're explaining it right now, I was like, okay, so blocking, and then, wow, this is a lot. And then on top of that, I'm guessing that times you do it a whole weekend. Let's say from Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Multiple shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's very fun. It's nerve-wracking. Honestly, sometimes it is, especially that first day, if it's a theater play, that first day, the first show, all the nerves in the world are usually there. But then once you say your first couple of lines, it's a bulb switches on and it's go, go, go. By the time it's over, you're like, oh, aya, imeisha.
Yeah.
We do it again.
And then you're like, oh, we actually get to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you were to pick one, you told Foi Wambui, theater, screen.
That's difficult. I haven't done theater in a while, to be fair, maybe 2 years, 3 years, I don't know.
2 years, because the last time was when we
oh yeah, yes, the Quiver one. I don't know.
What do you?
I don't know.
What is the one thing you like from each of them?
I think that for theater it would be that adrenaline and that you have to be at your top consistently. It makes you very, very sharp. The audience is just there, so you get immediate feedback. Immediate feedback. You'll know if someone liked a joke, if they're feeling your emotions. If the room is pin drop silent, then you know they're feeling whatever you're feeling. You're literally able to know there and then whether or not you killed it or not. Whether or not you killed it. For screen, I just like how intimate it is. I can show my emotions without having to do a lot. I can, with how I play with my eyes and little nuances with my lips, it gives one meaning, and if I do something else, it gives you another meaning. So it's very intimate. The camera is literally here. So you learn how to play with your face, with your body, with your fingers, with your like entire body in little ways that are picked up very easily by the camera compared to on theater. Like theater, if you do aka flinch and someone is seated uko nyuma, they might not be able to catch it. But on screen, they're able to catch it quicker. So I like both because of their interesting elements that I can't say which I prefer.
Yeah. No, I see it because like with the nuance of emotion in screen is definitely more than in theater. Like, you don't even need to have a line or to say anything. You can just be in the scene and somebody can tell, okay, what she's going through, what she's feeling, is she happy, sad. Yeah. So let me ask, have you ever felt like you've gone home with a character or like a character has refused to let you go, and who?
Yeah, I have. A lot of them actually. Salem, Ariel. I remember specifically during the sequence where she was going through depression and she tried to commit suicide. That really stayed with me. Not that I wanted to do it.
But that melancholy.
Yeah, I found myself getting sad and I couldn't trace, like, my life was fine. So I was like, what is this? And I realized I didn't really de-roll properly. I feel like also Shanga, Soila has in some ways stayed in me. And sometimes it's not a bad thing because there's nice elements of each character that I've played. So sometimes I'm like, okay, is this a good one? Okay, fine. Is this a good value? Okay, fine. But especially with the longer shows like Salem and Shanga, it's easy for that to happen because you're literally embodying that character every single morning. For Salem, it was 2 years. For Shanga, it's been a year and some. So every single character, like, sort of has that effect on me. And I realized that after Ariel, I decided to be very intentional with my de-rolling process at the end of each day. Because I feel like I didn't really do that as properly as I should have with Ariel. And that result was that depressive, sad state that I was in. So I decided I'm going to just be very intentional. But sometimes I would find myself, especially with Ariel was very sassy. She was a very smart mouth kind of teenage girl. So she used to say mean things to people without caring, and she used to be just, have a lot of attitude. I remember someday I was having a conversation with someone and I did something and I remember I caught myself because I was like, wait, that is not me. I there was like a sassiness and I was like, I can be sassy, but there's like a way I did it. And I was like, no, that's definitely not me. So I had to okay, we need to shake it off and get out of it as quickly as possible every single day. Yeah, so it happens a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
You just have to do a lot of things.
And when you look at your acting career, what do you think what's your goal? Like, how far do you want to go?
How far do I want to go? As far as God allows. Yeah.
That's a humble answer.
Tell us. Say
I'm being honest. Okay, for me, my goal has always been to be a Kenyan actor who is recognized internationally. That's my goal.
So you have no desire to go Nauko, Hollywood, maybe?
To live there for forever,
no,
like
maybe
Lupita?
take on a project.
I would, 100% yes, 100% yes. But for me, I don't want to ever lose my identity as a Kenyan and as an African.
Okay.
Yeah, but what? 6 years? Go live there, do a project for that long and come back? Why not? Absolutely.
Who is the one director internationally, if he called you or she called you, hata kama ni free, unaenda kesho?
Acha tuachie hapo. Wote.
Oh yeah. She said she's not going to close any doors.
Nataka kunifungia milango. Hapa tuko na directors international watch waseme, kumbe hakuniita. All of them.
That's nice.
Except wa hiyo side ingine ya the things that shall not be mentioned.
Only fans at funny. Okay. Really? So how do you have limits when it comes to on-screen intimacy?
I would say yes and no. Because for me, it just matters the story and the amount of money you're paying me. Yeah.
Honest answers. I like that.
Yeah, appealing ni muhimu sana.
Yeah, if you want the whole world to see my body, you better be paying good money for it, and the story must also be very
worth
good.
it.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna show my butt just for anything.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed, like, when you talk about now the story and the money, I've noticed in Hollywood you'll find there are certain directors, like, they don't have as big a budget as some of these blockbuster movies, but they are directors, if you just notice that they are always surrounded by A-list actors.
Yeah.
And they even say, like, if this guy calls, even if it's whatever amount and it's that specific director, I am doing it.
Yeah. I think that is the true event for here in Kenya. There's directors I work with in a heartbeat because I know their vision, I trust their vision, I've seen their vision. Someone like Carrion, who we did Morning After and Subterranea with and Antisocial with, there are people that I really, really trust. There are people that I really admire their work. I see the amount of effort, their love for the craft, that if someone comes and tells me they're doing a passion project and the budget isn't as great, but the story is great, we can come to some sort of agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, we can always come to such, like, so there's that still happens. And I think that's one thing that people need to realize, that even people who have, quote unquote, I don't like using this word, but like made it, we also do exposure work sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I won't do as much exposure now as I did when I was starting out, but there's times and opportunities that I feel are beneficial for me to be part of. And if we say hakuna budget, like even me, I'm working on being a producer and I've produced a couple of things.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big time, name. So I might not have the same budget as big time productions.
Yeah.
So I could easily be in that position of like, hey, this story is really great. Do you wanna come? Do you wanna come? That we can figure out a percentage if it goes somewhere, those kind of conversations.
I'll come.
Yeah.
next, yeah, just drop the pin.
Noted.
Just drop the pin. Which genre do you like to do the most, and which one would you have maybe not yet explored but would really like to?
What genre? That's difficult to answer because, unlike Hollywood, we don't have the luxury of picking and choosing the genre.
But like for you, I guess, for a lot of us, it's in Kenya, I think it's a lot of drama, romance. You were, Subterranea was what we call it, sci-fi, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we should do more horror in Kenya. Yeah,
honestly, I was about to say one thing I'd really like to try is horror.
Yeah.
I'm not a big horror fan when it comes to watching, but I'm a very curious person. Like, what goes behind making certain things believable? If there would be like a nice, proper, good quality script.
Because in Africa, we have so much horror law. It's just that we don't know it's horror law because you see now, like abroad they talk about like Slender Man and all those things. Us was Modo, that guy used to walk. Our parents used to say, "You get out, you'll be stolen." That's law. That's horror law. That can become.
Yangu ilikuwa Mama Gunia. When I used to refuse to eat, they used to be like, my family used to be like, oh, kuna Mama Gunia atakuta. Then one of my sisters would cover herself. And I would eat. That's horror. But I don't remember it. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Short film idea.
Yeah.
Because I feel like actually that's one area Kenya we need to.
Yeah, but like for horror you have to be really good.
You have to
the script has been really good.
The script, the directing, the crew, the actors,
the VFX after, like it has to be really, really good.
Because like, maybe we don't have budgets paranormal activities.
Yeah.
But if you see like, actually, which was it, Paranormal 4? The one that was just the camera in the bedroom. Which one was it? Paranormal Activity. The one for a ghost in the house. And it was literally one like camera. I think like with horror, sometimes if you don't have maybe to make it a spectacle, you now have to be good at story.
Yeah.
Like us.
Suspense.
Yeah.
I think us, the budget was kidogo, but the way it was executed,
Yeah.
it was so good. So I feel like if you tell the story the Kenyan way, you'll be able to do a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I think horror would be very fun, to be fair. I think I like trying things out. Like Subterranean was the first sci-fi show I did. Absolutely loved the entire process. Loved it so much. It's so different from everything else that we shoot, like drama or romance. Because I remember on set, you're talking to the AI, but like it's not there. It's gonna be put after.
Yeah.
So you have to use a lot of your imagination sometimes, and then you're 8 of you in a scene. You're being told there's supposed to be certain sound alarms. So they'll do like a clap or something, and you all have to react to something that you really can't hear, and it also has to be believable. It was very fun.
Did you need to act? I usually see like or you see behind the scenes of like sci-fi action, and like they're acting with somebody in like a green suit, and I just
No, we didn't have to do that. Luckily, ours was just a lot of AI and
so
sound.
it was something like they would add in post, but there was no physical.
Yeah.
Then I've ever seen those things when they're doing like a movie with like dogs and stuff,
Yeah.
and the dogs are animated, and you just see somebody of like Daenerys with
And you
like
have to be-
when Emilia Clarke was when she was busy petting Drogo, and it was just a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has to be very believable.
Yeah, like they have to believe you're really petting that dragon.
Yeah. It's a lot of imagination.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I would really like to do that.
Oh my God, I feel like
I think the first day I'd probably be laughing. I'd be like, what is this?
like you're like, okay, be sad, your dog is, and it's
just nothing.
It's nothing. You.
Yeah.
And also, when it comes to the topic of how to make money, like when producing films, there was a time Mark Wahlberg was talking about it, and he was saying like the reason why maybe Kitambo it was easy to make the kind of movies they were making, like the one they did with Ben Affleck, what's it called? The one where he's a genius. So you remember how like the movies are Kitambo, like you could tell a story about like a town or maybe a simple drama story. And he was saying
small to pockets of life. Yeah.
Exactly. So he was explaining like at least that time you could maybe do the movie, take it to cinema. It will not make as much money, but when it goes to DVD, because those are the kind of movies you watch like on a Sunday afternoon, they would make back their money. So now it has become more difficult to shoot such movies. So now they're having to focus, like studios are focusing on, big budget movies. And that's why the Marvels and the DCs are doing well nowadays, because it's easier to do those stories. So now when you come to now a place like ours, you want to tell the stories, yes, but how will you make the money?
I feel like right now where we are as an industry, at least there's a lot more Kenyan content, so the demand is also growing. Now for all these platforms, what they really require is subscription. So subscription is the thing that really fails us, because Kenya watu wanapenda kushare account. So in the back end, it really doesn't reflect in the financial side of the company that, is trying to commission whatever project they're trying to commission. So I feel like we really fail ourselves with that. But I've realized also there's ways that people are trying to mitigate that. Like the people doing that a lot is Philip production.
Yeah.
With the platform that they have where you pay 200 bob, which is more or less the amount of money we used to pay back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, it used to be 50 bob, but like
inflation.
It's pretty much the same amount of money we'd pay back then to watch a movie.
Yeah.
And so they're really they're cracking the system and being able to make money from it and make good results and make good projects. Because I feel like the reality is we really also can't really fully say that we're going to depend on other people to save us. And I feel like that's what Philip Productions realized, and they decided they're going to do this their own way.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's ways to like figure it out and hack the system and hopefully make money.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember when DocuBox is one that did Morning After, correct? Or am I wrong?
It's screened morning after.
It's screened
yeah.
Morning After, right? And I remember like going for that experience, ilikuwa Prestige.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed that going to like the cinema with like a crowd of people.
Yeah.
And you could hear everybody's reaction like, oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like for Kenyan film and Kenyan stories, we are not really screening.
Yeah.
We're not doing enough.
We don't do
premieres.
screenings.
Yeah.
Like if like what is your take on like if you were to get, if somebody was to come, okay, Foi, we're gonna do this movie, we want it to be screened, what would be your, like, how would you go about getting people in those seats?
It's a very interesting question. Okay, screening. I feel like Kenyans used to do a lot of screenings, especially before things started picking up.
Yes.
But then people have they'll do like a 1 weekend or 2 weekends, but you really have to be in the film circles or like following those pages to know when the screenings are happening, because they are happening.
Yeah.
It's just that it's sort of like very select people who know, not because people don't want to know, but it's also because of the way we distribute things in Kenya. So the way we can be able to get people in those doors is making sure that it's distributed in a way that there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of excitement. Kenyan producers sometimes focus so much on the production element of it, which is great, but then forget that there's an after. There's a marketing and a distribution, and that also requires a lot of money.
Yeah.
So instead of only focusing on production and pre-production and only doing like 5% of focus and monetary in putting that in marketing and distribution, what about if we change those percentages in a way that makes sense and gets the eyeballs? And at the end of the day, I also I know there's a lot of conversations online and for the last couple of years about, same faces. Oh, there's the same faces. I don't think, first of all, that is true. But also, even if it was true, what is wrong with that? If I'm looking at it from a financial perspective, if I have the option of getting Will Smith in my movie and getting Ayan, I'm going to get Will Smith. No hate or anything. But like, if I randomly go to a cinema and I'm like, oh, what do I watch? What do I watch? And then I see a face like Will Smith or Denzel or Viola Davis, automatically I'm going to watch that movie. So like, and I mean, that is also a way to get people into the door. Talented people though, not just anyone who is known.
Oh yeah, not just faces, but faces with substance.
Yes, like people who actually have the numbers and also are able to do the work, but not as the only people in the show, because now you'll have from the first character, the main character to the supporting without lines, kila mtu anajulikana, okay. And then there's a show that did that in Kenya, I shall not name it, but
Yeah. But actually that thing for the marketing budget is so true, because I've been on, let's say, productions, and they have talked about how much they'll pay for like their actors and everything, and then when it comes to marketing, crickets.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we'll do posts on social media. See, they'll post, right? They'll put it up, right? And in Hollywood, almost double the budget of production is marketing.
Yeah.
It's marketing. It's getting it out there. It's getting people to see. Because I don't think that Kenyans would not go out. Kenyans do.
Yeah.
Like we kept shouting for the current play that one for
Twali for Bad.
Yes. We always, people kept asking for another show and another show, and they all used to sell out.
And now there's literally that love for Kenyan productions that's really growing. So these people are more interested in with Kenyan productions than
so even
they have for
even for movies, if you put people we know, people we love, and you make us know that this thing is there, and and I think sometimes it's also, I feel like it's the way they'll dip their toes, so you feel like they're not serious. Because there was this, was it Nafsi? I'm very bad with the names, by the way.
The one for Kate and Mumbi.
Yeah, and it's those ones for like, oh, you really want to see it, and then you find that it's being screened once.
Yeah.
In like in one theater, and then that's it. If you miss, now you as a consumer, you're like, I mean,
I would say like it's also such a difficult balance between making sure that the audience gets the product and also making their money.
Yeah.
It's such a tricky balance, and I can empathize with that situation of like, you would want it to run
Be more
on theater, or you'd want to put it on YouTube, you know, so that everyone can watch it.
Yeah.
But like, how will you make the money?
how would you make the
Undercover, we shot it in 2020 and 2021. It just went on YouTube last year.
Yeah.
In 2024. People are seeing it for the first time on YouTube. And it's not because like of anything, but there's contractual obligations.
Yeah.
There's a certain period it has to be off Maisha Magic for it to be able, for them to be able to put it elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it's such a
tricky
balance. And it's like, okay, we can please the audience and have them watch for free, but then we'll be sleeping hungry. Or we could do the opposite, and you know, it's how do we win?
But I feel like
it's a
sometimes
conversation that's still continuing, to be fair. Yeah.
But also, I feel like sometimes having faith in the consumers is for me, when I've been in these rooms, I feel like sometimes I always feel like there's no faith in the consumer.
Yeah.
I feel like because man, Kenyans like being outside and enjoying things and doing stuff. But why do we feel like subscriptions, I will agree, because even me and my family, we have that same bad habit. Or everybody's like, one Showmax, one Netflix, we need to change, guys, actually, please. Please, kila nyumba ikwena yake mo, at least, if nothing else. Maybe not everyone in the family, but you can't be 4 households. 4 households, one password. Yes, that's bad manners. That's when I agree. But also, like, I feel like if we gave like Kenyans a chance and showed them like, this is our stuff.
Yeah.
Come see it and love it and show it that kind of unaichukua serious.
Yeah.
Like you take it like the way people have like movie thingies for premieres huko juu. You say like, this is our movie, we've done it.
Do you think with the Kenyan audience that's possible?
Yeah, I do.
You think so?
I really do.
Yeah,
I really do.
I think showing up is possible for sure. I've seen people show up for films, but what do they say after 3/4 of the time? What is the kind of criticism we constantly give Kenyan productions? It's mostly negative.
It's mostly negative.
Yeah.
Here's... No, I don't think it's mostly negative.
If you think about it, I think we should also ask ourselves, how come we don't have negative criticisms on plays? It's rare that you find a play and then you find someone maybe criticizing the play or mini.
I think also that's true, but also one thing I've realized is Kenyans, oh God, I hope. Anyway, it's the truth.
Just speak
the truth.
Speak it.
Kenyans are very loud when they don't like something, but they're very quiet when they like something.
Agreed.
When they don't like a production, everyone will know. It will trend on Twitter. I have seen this happen.
Yeah.
It will trend on Twitter. It will be picked up by blogs. People will talk about it consistently.
Yeah.
It will be very loud. But when a production is good, you're told quietly on the side.
Yeah.
People love Subterranea. We know the numbers are good. It didn't trend. On the side, watu watakwambia, ilikuwa poa, wow. But we're not very vocal when things are good. And that's just an example for a production that I've done. There's so many other examples of shows that were really, really good, that are really, really good, that don't get the same airtime and the same loudness as those that aren't. And at the end of the day, we also have to look at ourselves. Is there like something up with us?
I think that's just human culture. I think, unfortunately,
is it human culture or Kenyan culture?
Or
I think it's no, because if you me, the place where I go to see what the dregs of humanity is usually Twitter, and you'll notice that I feel like it's very Kenyans do have it also a lot, but I feel like it's easy to just rage on something than to speak.
It's easier to focus
on negativity.
The negative is always louder.
And then also, we live in an era where even these platforms that we're using like it.
Yeah.
They like the negativity. They like they like you hating on something because it pushes, it makes people come more. So they also push it up. But if we, sometimes I say like, maybe not to like ignore, because there is constructive criticism
There
out
is,
there for
absolutely.
sure. But if you also just, I feel like in everything there are also the true fans.
Yeah.
And sometimes if we let our side, because they are so loud.
Yeah.
They are so loud.
It can really drown out.
It can really drown out and can now make you even not as,
Yeah.
enthusiastic about
I feel
some
like
things.
one of the things I really wish for in our industry is we get to a place where Nigeria got to very many years back. They support their own, even when they things that they're putting out are very questionable.
Yeah. Even when the fire, you can still see the green screen behind it. They are still working.
Yeah. When I went to shoot a film in Nigeria some time back, and I was being told about how the culture is when it comes to films there. Literally, if you have a production, if I'm doing a film as a filmmaker, I have to book a cinema like even a year in advance. Not because they're showing international films, but because they're also showing a lot of Nigerian films. And they speak very highly of their own things. And that's the reason why Afro cinema became very popular here, because once they speak about it loudly in their country, it's brought here as well.
Yeah.
But we don't do that.
We don't speak
So how are we
loudly.
supposed to push our content outside the borders of Kenya if we ourselves don't speak well of it?
I also think, apart from us speaking well of it, I feel like some of the traditional stations that we had failed us, because ideally, like when Kenyan shows started blowing up, Makutano Junction, the Tidy Highs, those shows, honestly, I thought they were the best thing you could find on TV.
Yeah.
And then they started this wave of bringing the Afro cinemas, which I feel like they failed us, because they should have insisted on doing more Kenyan productions. Because now it got to a point where Kenyan, like when I was speaking to actors and such, they were saying opportunities ziko akina sijui Maisha Magic, akina nini, and these are not the traditional stations. So I feel they are the ones who started like that decline of Kenyan shows. And now I feel like now it's getting better because you can now see like there's so many projects zenye ziko available, and now we are finding more ways ya present to the audience.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I don't want to fault anyone for it, because at the end of the day, this is still a very baby industry. I don't even know if we can call ourselves an industry yet. It's still a baby. We are where other countries were in the 1900s, in the 1970s. So we also can't give ourselves a lot of pressure comparing ourselves to other places, though we can always take those things as learning elements so that we don't have to take too long to grow. So that we're not taking 50 years to get to a place that Nigeria is, or South Africa is, or Hollywood is. It's now for us to say, okay, we are here now. Especially there's a lot of demand for good quality content, because content is accessible. You can watch a show that was shot in Philippines and watch it on your phone. So now it's like literally making sure we are catching up quicker than anything. We can't put the blame, but they're also trying.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this show called Prefects. I
saw it.
It was really good. It was very different from everything else that we've seen on stations.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to complete the following sentence, right? Foi is winning
when she's happy, when she has a lot of money, and when she's doing projects that she's passionate about. Yeah. 3. That's what nimekupatia. Ishio. Yeah.
But actually, before we continue, why did you double name yourself? Because Foi Wambui is Wambui.
Yeah, I'm like Miguna.
Do people notice that?
A lot of people don't know that, actually. Most people think my first name is Faith. And I'm always like, how? Wouldn't that be Faye, not Foi? It's very interesting. I thought it's such a common Kikuyu name, nickname. But
I think the thing is, it's common, but when now you put it next to a boy, it confuses the brain.
Hata mimi sijaishikanisha hivyo.
Haya, she's double named.
You're 2 years old.
Yeah.
I should even just change it in my ID.
What's the actual name?
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Utumie pesa utajua.
Utumie pesa utajua. Baadaye. Utumie pesa.
Nice.
Nashanga.
I got you.
Usijali, mimi niliona first time nikashtuka kidogo sema oh.
Kuna watu niliwaambia ni jina ya mamangu niliregister.
It's that shocking.
No, I think it's just a name.
But what is in a name? What is in a name? I'm also like one of those people who is very passionate about their African roots. So I want to use my
name.
My African name.
All right, tutasema niyo. Tutakuwa lao. But anyway, it's been so much fun, baby.
Yeah, this is really nice.
Good conversation.
This has been fun. It's been interesting. Ubenishtua. Hey,
girl.
girl.
It's so interesting. Like, I'm just like, there's some things I didn't know about both of you that I've learned today. So
I feel like that's the craziest thing about life. Like, you can know somebody for years, and then you sit down and talk to them for 1 hour, and you realize, like,
I did.
Kumba kuna mambo sijui.
Yeah, this was so fun. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming. Actually, we were shooting, was it last week?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I saw your podcast. Like, oh, do you want to come? And she's like, yeah. And I started.
See, good friends.
Good friends.
Good friends. Yeah.
You've held my brand up. Kama kuna hii video nilipost jana watu wanasema huyo videographer wa kwanza ako juu nikasema
come on,
you're making me look guilty.
The one you did with Kwach, the Kikuyu one.
Yeah.
That was so good.
And then that video went. And then Kwach came and learned Kikuyu.
There and then.
He said, we're like, we want to do it in Kikuyu, but we'll do it in Kiswahili. He said, no, teach me.
Literally
that's
there
nice.
and then. It was so fun.
Yeah.
That's good.
What you two need to do is another shoot. I feel like I'm jafanya concept shooting
in a while.
Yeah,
I've
we
actually not done
haven't
a
shot
concept shoot in a while.
Long time.
Yeah.
It's about that time.
We should actually, because I'm also trying to get back to my my love for content, like back to the basics. Back to the basics in some way. Okay. And one of the basic things I used to do is this in my creative shoots. I used to really enjoy them. So we should plan and do one together.
For sure.
Hata tuko na watu hapa.
Witnesses, yeah.
Musipona shoot yangu na huyu ujue ni yeye.
Okay. So
unfortunately, I feel like she might be correct on that end. Nakupenda Frank, lakini unajua ni vizuri nikwambie tu kweli.
Yeah.
Unaona guys. It's okay.
Tumegang up.
So if by any chance you have never, please follow at Foi Wambui. Wambui. On Instagram and surudi YouTube. Tricky. Na uko na mimi? Tricky. Niongeleshe ni mwatent.
It may come, but not now.
Ili ni ska.
Oui.
Yeah, tuacha hiyo.
But for now, Instagram, amazing content, great skits. Great. I love even your affirmations,
Oh, thank you.
You're a positive presence online, and I adore that.
Thank you.
So follow Foi Wambui, me of Ayan Karanja and
Francis Mungai.
Yep. And of course, Made to Make.
KE.
Woohoo! See you on the next one. Wait, go. Nimeweka cricket.
Oh, Kai, yo.
Apana, applause.